Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog. Oh, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost?
While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you. Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, this is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Welcome back. I'm Abby Alonso. Anthony Renato joins me. Second hour, here we go. We just spent a lot of time talking about the LSU roster, but now it's time to preview some of the matchups that we're going to see tomorrow and Saturday in this College World Series.
Yes.
We're going to start off hot. What? You were going to say something.
And it's a little different field than I think a lot of people thought, right?
Oh.
2 SEC teams and...
That, you just watch them slowly drop SEC.
I don't know if it was slowly, like Vanderbilt getting knocked out right away. I mean, it was Texas lost their regional too, didn't they? Yeah, they lost their regional.
Yep.
Yeah, so Vandy and Texas both lost their regional. It was not a slow death. It was quick.
But I'm saying like we just watched one after the other after the other. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Going off like flies, yeah. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
so,
if you would have asked me if these were the 8 teams that would be in Omaha this year, I would have
think too many people
giggled. Yep. I would have giggled, but here we are.
Chuckled.
Game 1 tomorrow. Tomorrow. It starts tomorrow.
Is it really starting tomorrow?
Today's Thursday, yes. Wow. Yeah, Friday. Coastal Carolina and Arizona. So Coastal's hot. 23-game win streak. They just swept number 4 Auburn.
Yep.
They won it all in 2016. Talk to me a little bit about how dangerous a hot team can be going into Omaha.
I hate it for everybody else in the field. Like it's one of those things when a team and in baseball too, it is so much about momentum, just the way that the game is played. I was on off the bench yesterday, right? And that was my prediction, was non-LSU Arkansas prediction, Coastal. Right? Was Coastal.
Yeah.
But ironically enough, they are playing Arizona, and Arizona would have been my other team from that bracket because of the way that they came back against UNC, because it's about momentum, right? And you look at I think you called them in our notes, right? The comeback, whatever, something.
Yeah, they got a comeback culture.
Yeah,
and you come back from an 18-2 loss and you upset UNC.
Yep. Well, they didn't come back in that game, but
no.
I know. That would have been crazy. Can you imagine that? 16, yeah.
No.
But in general, right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that you're going to come back from that. So, yeah, and to have your backs against the wall, to go to somebody else's super and punch for the ticket, right? On a team that was there last year, right? Mm-hmm. UNC went there last year, I think. Mm-hmm. So that to me, it's just like, it's honestly LSU, Arkansas, winner of that, I think, goes to the championship. And I think the winner of Arizona and Coastal go to the championship. That's what I think. Yeah. So interesting.
Both teams, and I know we want to talk about players specifically as well, who to look out for this weekend or for these next 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Caden Bodine for Coastal, Brendan Summerhill for Arizona. I know you might have some other guys. Talk to me a little bit about key players.
Yeah, and so that Bodine kid, I'm excited to watch. I saw him, it's funny because I watch games and sometimes I don't have all the notes on their players, but I can watch and just be like, oh, that kid. No.
Yeah.
So I saw him catch and was like, oh, he receives really well, right? So then you look at the notes and it's like, oh, he's a big league catcher already. Like they said that he's got one of the best arms. Like he's one of the best defensive catchers. Didn't you say he's breaking a record or something?
Yeah, he's one runner shy of breaking the program caught stealing record.
Yeah. So to me, like that stands out. I don't know too much, but I think he had good offensive numbers too, right? So I don't know what kind of switch hitter, right? Mm-hmm. Again, so as a catcher, when you're that good defensively, you're already in the conversation because it's such a premium position, and the ability to catch at such a high level is in the draft is rare, and for somebody to be able to climb the ranks that fast. So that ability there, if he can be versatile and be a switch hitter too, where a manager can put him in different parts of the lineup because he can bat lefty or righty, that to me is probably why he's highly rated. So I'm excited to see him play a little bit, but I think the kid Summerhill too is a stud too for Arizona, right? He's one of the
batting 358.
Yeah, and the draft is so interesting, right? I was looking up some mock drafts. He's as high as 10 in some, and then in some he's not even in the top 30. So right? But obviously talent evaluators think he's good enough, and he's put up the numbers. So that's what I'm looking for. It seems like Summerhill is the dude for Arizona, but they have some good prospects too, and a good team. But Carolina, they also have a good starting pitcher too. Their number one pitcher, under 200 batting average against, 11 wins, dominated Auburn at Auburn. So I mean, he's a dude too. I think they said he's a late first, or maybe second day, but maybe late first day too, which means supplemental, maybe second round, something like that, which means he's got a good arm too. So Coastal's no joke. They're not just like a hot team on a 23-game win streak. It's like they got some dudes and like some actual draft prospects too.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me your prediction.
Coastal.
I'm with you. I think it's Coastal too. And Coastal scares me.
Yeah, it's like they're a hot team and they're good. Like that's scary.
Yeah. Won it the last time in 2016.
I know. And there's something too about history repeating itself. Also, getting a team to buy in and believe. When you've done it before as that manager, in 2016, they got hot as hell. Like they came to LSU and won a super regional, right? Like they were hot. It was just one of those things. When they came in 16, I was like, oh boy. You just know, you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel good,
the
right?
Energy there, yeah.
Yeah, so, that to me, I'm sure, and their coach is pretty legendary. Like he's been there for a minute. He has built that program. I remember coming out of high school and that program was just starting to become a desirable spot for the East Coast guys, So he's built that from talent throughout the whole East Coast, competed with North Carolina, South Carolina, a bunch of good ACC schools there too. So he's done it the right way, and he's got those guys believing. And again, when history repeats itself, and you're gonna be like, guys, we did this. I did this in 16. Right. Like you guys were watching those kids on TV. Now it's you guys, and you guys are carrying the torch. Let's go do it. So he probably has those guys bought in.
Coastal. That's the call.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over. Oregon State, Louisville tomorrow night. Oregon State. First year as an independent, no conference affiliation.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
That's weird to me.
I was listening to that. They said that's weird. They were like, yeah, they got people to come out to Corvallis, and I'm like, there's no what? Oh my God, interesting. They're just weird. Not in a conference. Yeah. But I think it was the right move for them because I was listening to it on TV. Because if you're with the RPI and all that, it makes a big difference.
It makes sense. You're in Omaha, so good for them, I guess. 103 homers on the year. Yeah. That's the second highest in their program history. And because of that, and they don't strike out much either, as a former pitcher, how do you approach a lineup that is so powerful but also selective?
That is the key, because usually with the power numbers come the strikeout numbers, right? So that there's some holes that you can
capitalize,
expose. Yeah. So it's tough because you got it, as a pitcher, and that's where we're going to get to with Forbes, right? Patrick Forbes, the most likely starter for Louisville. He's got to trust his stuff. Like really, he can get it up to 100, and that's what the guy that I was telling you watch pitch the other day. but he also throws a lot of balls.
Yep.
So if he's not around the zone, they're going to make him throw strikes. And if it's in the zone and all he can throw is heaters, they're going to tee off, right? So that's, to me, is a guy's got to be able to throw strikes. So you got to be able to compete with your best stuff, but understand they got to be quality strikes. You can't be missing in the middle of the zone. You can't be missing in spots that, are their hot zones. So when I got to the big leagues, one of the biggest things that I struggled with was quality strikes. So in AAA, I knew how to get guys out because I could manipulate the strike zone at AAA. When I got to the big leagues, they exposed me because they were just so much better. They've been there for 10 years, right? These guys know what to look for, do all these things. And so it was so imperative for me to throw quality strikes. And so I learned the difference between a certain fastball or a located pitch or a setup pitch, right? So I think that's what Forbes is going to have to do against this team. And especially when they have, potentially the number 1 overall pick, they have the best position player in college baseball. Yeah, so
Arquette.
I haven't watched him play, and shame on me because I'm like, I did have Oregon State on TV last weekend and I kind of turned it off or didn't lock in, but he's a 6'5" shortstop.
6'5" shortstop.
What?
That's fun.
I'm going to be locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard so 18 homers too. So yeah, they got some good stuff.
I also want to talk about Forbes. He was a third baseman.
I didn't know that. That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
He converted to a pitcher, which explains the arm strength.
Yeah.
But also explains the
maybe some wildness. I think he had 5 walks the other day, but he punched out 11 or something. But the biggest thing with that is you can't give up hits if you're going to walk.
Yep.
It's all about whip, right? We talk about your walks plus your hits divided by your innings pitched. And that to me is the rule of thumb for a starting pitcher is you can't give up more than 1 base runner and expect that put your team in a position to win when you come out of the game, right? Because eventually it's going to catch up to you. So you strive for 1 an inning. You understand that a couple times throughout the game there's going to be 2, and on rough days it could be more, and you got to learn how to pitch out of it. So for him, he's just got to minimize the damage. He's either if he's going to walk 5 guys, he can't give up hits.
Right.
If he's going to throw to contact, you can't walk guys. It's that simple.
It's one or the other. You can't have both.
Yep.
A little bit about Louisville. They're 500 in their conference, but
that's interesting.
They
beat some dogs.
They beat the big boys: Texas, Arizona, and Vandy. They all came out on top.
Texas and Vandy, who didn't even get out of a regional. I'm just saying.
Still
just
notable
saying, Texas
wins
and Vandy.
for Louisville, but.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply. 500
in the conference. I'm not quite confident that they down Oregon State, especially 103 home runs in selective at the plate. That's tough.
I know Oregon State's probably a better team, but again, this is so good pitching can beat good hitting any day. So when you have a first round, I watched Forbes pitch and I said, how have we not heard this guy's name, right? So then when I was doing some research and looking there, he is kind of towards the end of the first round, maybe second round. But again, I think that just speaks to his lack of pitching experience. But again, for a team that values, that 98, 99 fastball and this curveball, that plays. We can do something with that, right? So if he's locating, good pitching usually beats good hitting. So it just depends on how he shows up, honestly, in my opinion.
Putting you on the spot, Oregon State, Louisville.
Louisville.
What?
Yeah.
Upset?
Yeah. Is it an upset?
I guess
because Louisville wasn't a national seed. Yeah, technically, yeah. I don't know the odds.
I'm rolling Oregon State. I'm gonna
look it up. I don't know if they've announced who the starters are yet, so they might not have odds, but I'd be curious. I would imagine Louisville. No, I think you're right because like the overall odds to win the championship, I think Oregon State's like fourth.
I'm gonna say Oregon State. I love a good underdog story. I love a good underdog story, but I just don't.
It's close. It's DraftKings at least has Oregon State the favorite on the money line minus 188. So it's not even minus 200. That'll probably shift up tomorrow, but as people bet it. But Louisville plus 145 to win, plus 1.5 at minus 135. I like that number. Yeah. Arkansas is the favorite on DraftKings right now.
Interesting. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that.
Is LSU going to be the higher? Is LSU the home? Do we know yet? Who was the higher seed? Arkansas was
the 3.
Okay, yeah. So they'll probably be if they're going by seeding, but yeah, and that'll probably be honestly the differentiator in the lines. It's probably a coin flip, but whoever is the home team will have the slight advantage because of towards the end of the game that gives you a slight advantage. Yeah.
Okay, so on that side of the bracket, you're saying Coastal and Louisville. I'm going Coastal, Oregon State.
Wow. All right. I don't think you're. I could see that absolutely. But
it'll be fun.
Yeah, I like the Louisville team. I don't know why. I like the Louisville coach too. I want Louisville to win. I think.
All right. Well,
something against Oregon State. I just don't love them. I don't like them. I don't know. It's a problem.
I have
it's a personal
something against Oregon State, but I don't know what it is.
I just don't like them. It's something about your face. I just want to.
Well, there you. We're going to get a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about UCLA, Murray State, and of course, LSU and Arkansas. Yeah, hold on to your seat.
We have to do it quick because we only got 15 minutes until
Lewis. All right, we'll be back shortly.
The Hunt Palmer Show. This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday shows are brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Beef. I had a great conversation earlier today with my guy, Sean Sagrera. He's so excited. First of all, y'all crushed it Memorial Day. We told y'all they had those 2-pound bags of ground beef, 600 pounds they went through over there at Sagrera Farms. This is a top 1% of beef in the country, and it's right outside of Baton Rouge at Sagrera Farms. And right now, there are 10 animals that are beginning the aging process. 45 days dry aging. At the end, no preservatives, no water, just that unbelievable, tender, flavorful beef. If you'd like to get in line for one of those 10 animals and have Sean cut it for you any way you'd like, then get in line and give him a call. I'm going to give you the cell phone number here in a second. But you got to understand that this is prime beef that is a 36-month journey from start to finish. And these animals have to be born this way. You can't have an animal born and then create this unbelievable, flavorful beef. But Sean and his team have a process down that creates unbelievable consistency and an amazing product. If you want the ground beef, fillets, ribeyes, skirt steaks, flank steaks, all that at Sagrera Farms, top 1% in the country, you need to call this number, 719-1723. 719-1723. Again, you've got 10 animals starting that 45-day aging process. If you would like to get in line for one of those, 719-1723. That is Sagrera Farms.
All right, welcome back into the Hunt Palmer Show. Hunt Palmer is not here. Abby Alonso and Anthony Renato holding it down while he takes on Omaha. We're going to talk about Omaha, though, or continue to talk about Omaha.
I was going to say, I'm like,
we've been talking about Omaha the whole time.
Are you sure we're going to talk about Omaha? Why would we talk about
another topic? Nah. Just talked about Oregon State and Louisville.
Let's throw some money on it, you and me.
I'm still taking Oregon State. Arizona, Coastal Carolina.
No friendly wager.
I'm going to pass.
Chips and salsa.
Oh, I'll do that one.
Yeah, we'll put chips and salsa on that.
I'll do that one. Shake on camera. Evidence. Video evidence.
You almost knocked that over.
That would have been terrible. Been brutal. I would have been really sad
because you insisted on a handshake. I would have been really
sad if I knocked over my water. Yeah. All right, other side of the bracket.
Go Tigers.
Hold on. We're not there yet. You got UCLA and Murray State.
Give me Murray State.
Murray State.
Give me Murray State, baby. 4 seed.
I'm with you. First ever trip to Omaha. If you saw it on social media, it went viral.
You fell in love. I love their coach. I don't even know who he is, but I liked it.
He was holding the kid and the whole.
He was mowing the grass a year ago. Like
still does. 800 people fit in their stadium.
Yeah. Crazy.
Love it. Just the 4th regional 4 seed.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the
Because,
fourth?
Fresno State in 08.
Was that the
who won
first?
it all.
That was the first one my freshman year?
Yeah.
Wow,
Fresno
that's crazy.
State
Yeah.
won it your first trip to Omaha. Stony Brook.
What's
in
going on
2012.
in the world, though, like seriously, in general, because I don't ever remember. I grew up watching the NCAA basketball tournament, and I don't remember ever a 1 seed beating a 16. And then like 3 years ago, didn't like with Zach Edey or whatever, like a 1 seed went down. And anyway, I know that's off topic, but yeah, how crazy is 08 was the first time in this format that a 4 seed won? Yeah, and it's all happened ever since then. Yeah, It's happened more.
Stony Brook in 2012, and then Oral Roberts in 23.
Yeah.
So they're the fourth team to do it.
Fresno was there my freshman year. It was magic. It's one of those things that you don't want to compete against.
That's what I was gonna say. Is there a mental edge?
Yes.
When you're the team that's not supposed to be there.
Yes, absolutely. And you know that their coach is telling. It was just like Little Rock, right? You heard their coach saying the same thing. Like, hey guys, we weren't supposed to be here. We're playing with house money. Let's go have some fun, right? That underdog, that no expectations vibe is scary. And then when you're LSU, right? Like we were just talking in between segments that low key, I bet you LSU, I want to see it as a fan to watch Murray State against LSU in the next round to hopefully LSU wins, right? But I bet you LSU low key wants UCLA to win. I'm serious.
No, we just talked about this. I agree. It's a fun storyline, right? There would be so many eyes on that game solely because of the storyline. But again,
true David and Goliath.
You don't love that if you're, or I would imagine, there's just some magic going on there.
Yeah. Feels weird. Yeah, just I don't love that. So.
Well, they have to beat UCLA, and LSU would have to beat Arkansas in order for that to happen. UCLA's first year in the Big Ten, they make it to the conference title game. You've got a couple good players on there. And like we did last segment, talk to me about some of the guys that are on these teams that we're looking for this weekend.
I think this kid's name's Rock, R-O-C-H.
Rock. Good luck with the last name.
Yeah, Cholowski. Cholowski.
That sounds right.
I like
that
Cholowski.
sounds right.
It sounds good. Cholowski. But yeah, infielder, apparently high up in the draft too, so it might be a first rounder, might be second rounder. So that'll be somebody that I'll be looking for UCLA. But the catcher for Murray State, Vierling, I think is his last name. Yeah, so that to me, and anytime a catcher is kind of your best player, like that also, there's something to that. And I'm not going to make a judgment by the coach, but like his body type looks like a catcher. Like I wouldn't be surprised me if he was a catcher. And usually catchers are great leaders. They are, I mean, if you think about it, right? You're commanding a staff, you're out there, you're giving signals to the whole field, you're operating, you see the whole field. So you see everything, right? Like, so I think that guy being their leader is probably a testament to their team culture and things like that. And so I'm excited to see him play and lock in because I did watch the other game the other night, but again, I didn't know him as a draft prospect. I just kind of was watching the game and so anxious to see how he is and how that goes. But yeah, I want them to win.
I'm taking Murray State.
Me too.
I'm riding it.
They're a 2.5 dog. I'm like, I am 100% taking 2.5.
They've been a Cinderella team.
They're an underdog by 2.5 runs. Yeah, I'm taking that.
All right. And then last game of round one on this side of the bracket, Arkansas.
Yeah.
LSU.
Yeah.
SEC matchup right off the bat.
Yeah.
Kind of sucky, kind of fun, immediately fun.
Yeah. Arkansas, it scares me because Dave Van Horn, this is like one of those things. Dave Van Horn is too good of a coach not to have a national championship. Now, you can look back to the 1 year that I can't remember exactly the year, but when their outfielder dropped the ball and they would have won the College World Series. So that could be like, oh, well, he did win it. But it's also the thing that didn't happen. Like you're like, oh, he's Dave Van Horn. He's going to win a championship. So that's what scares me. This team is probably the most complete team in Omaha, right? And they're probably the best team. They're playing great right now. So the combination is not great. But LSU is the same way. They've been top 5 all year. They're playing great.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn. And you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra durable pocket hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And Zach Root that's the honestly, the thing that scares me is Zach Root. That kid transferring from East Carolina, their starter against Cade, lefty that throws 98, 99. He was electric against Tennessee, and he gets fired up in those situations. You saw it. The emotion was there, right? So if he's pitching really well, and they have a first rounder, Gage Gage Wood, right, is going to be a first rounder, and he's their second pitcher. Like who is Root? And Root must be a competitor, and so I don't know. It makes me nervous. It's going to be a good game.
You can't forget about the SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah, no.
And Aloy.
Yeah,
like
Aloy.
they
First
are
rounder.
a complete team.
Yeah.
So what is it going to be? And now LSU took the series over them earlier this season, so it's could happen again for sure. But what's going to be their Achilles heel to take the L from LSU? I mean, they haven't lost a game in postseason play.
Yeah.
They are firing on all cylinders. You've got draft prospects all over the place. What is it going to be for LSU to do?
I hate to put this on Cade's shoulders, but he's got to go out there and shove. Like, he's got to go out there and shove. And he's got to be locked in from the jump. Like, you can't let Aloy hit a solo homer in the first inning and get the boys get them pumped up, have any momentum. Like, this is one of those things that I was saying. He's got to have that IQ to be like, this is the game. I got to be locked in.
Yep.
In my opinion, LSU's got to be leading in the 6th or 7th to win this game. I really do believe that. Like, I think they got to have the lead, so which means Cade's got to pitch well and be in the lead when he leads the game. I think it could be, if it's tied late in the game, I think the advantage goes to Arkansas, unfortunately, because I think they'll be the home team because they're the higher seed. So I think it's going to be, but it's a coin flip for me. So if LSU comes out and hits that kid, if he's too emotional, if he's too fired up, right? Maybe you see him spraying balls and LSU's patient against him and they have a good approach and stuff like that. You never know. So I think LSU's got to be able to be patient against Root and let him be emotional and let the emotion try to come out and try to get runs on him early, right? To deflate him. And I think Cade's got to come out and he's got to shove and set the tone early and be like, you guys are not scoring runs on me. It's going to be a close game, you know? And I think they have to have the lead late if they want to win. And if it's tied late, I think it goes to Arkansas. I don't want that because I want LSU to win, but I think
it is what it is, though. That is very fair.
That's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
All right. Well, we're going to get some other thoughts from your buddy, Lewis Coleman, in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lewis Coleman coming at 2:30 to talk about Omaha. Maybe this year's team catch up with Anthony.
Let's do it.
The Hunt Palmer Show. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
I like that vibe. That was a good vibe. The music is, I'm here for the music.
As soon as the music starts, I look at you every time to see if you're feeling it. There was a little piano action.
Yeah, there was something. I don't even know if I don't know if that was the right instrument. I don't even know.
I don't think it was, but it's fine. The vibes were good.
Vibes were good.
Vibes.
Welcome back, everybody. Hunt Palmer Show. I'm Anthony Renato, joined with Abby Alonso.
Yeah.
And I think we're actually joined with one of my good friends, legendary LSU pitcher, Lewis Coleman. Lewis, you on the line?
What's up, Renato?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I am good. A little bit of Winfield time. Headed to a charity event in the great state of Mississippi.
Wow.
As long as this thunderstorm can hold off. How are y'all doing?
We're doing well, man. The Tigers are in Omaha. Sounds like you're in God's country, back where you belong, where you grew up in Mississippi. So I'm happy for you. But thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely. I'm glad you reached out. always excited to talk to my buddies.
Absolutely.
Talk some LSU baseball.
Yeah, we got a good squad this year, and I know Abby's fired up to ask you some questions. We're gonna chat it up and just share some stories a little bit because this year's 1-2 duo is pretty fun. Yep. So she was asking me some questions. I was like, let's get Lewis on the line and have him answer us. So,
yeah. I asked Anthony earlier. You guys being the 1-2 punch, kind of looking at Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson this year, kind of resembling that a little bit. And I asked him, what was that like pitching with you and being a starter with you? So I want to hear from you and what that was like for you back in the day.
Anthony always got us off to a great start. It made it a lot of fun, to be honest with you. And it allowed me to do something that was a little different, more of a hybrid, I guess, but kind of the way that I would have always drawn it up was let Anthony start on Friday, and he usually went really deep into the games, and then I was able to pitch on Friday night sometimes. And then if not, I could start on Saturday. If I did, I could start on Sunday, or just things like that. So it gave us a lot of flexibility. But having Anthony always going out there and setting the tone, it made for a great weekend. And then Austin Ross, he would, we might split Friday, Saturday, and Austin he'd hold down the fort and get a series win. So we had a great combination there that year, and obviously guys coming out of the bullpen and doing all sorts of different things. But having Anthony going first and then kind of let me come in on after him or another day.
You're so humble, Lewis. You're so humble. You're so humble. Stop gassing me up. People want to know how you won 14 games, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's because you scared them.
It was you.
I got to come around, Yeah.
No, but I'm
throwing 97 and I'm throwing 92, as they used to say.
No, yeah, but you were throwing across your body coming from the third base dugout. But yeah, one of the things that we were talking about was like I told Abby, I was like, a lot of us had this, you were the leader, you were older, you were the senior, you came back, and it was like we felt almost indebted to you to like, because you loved LSU and you wanted to win so bad. We had this, your desire to win inspired us all, which was really cool for all of us,
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that. No, I remember making that decision. I was actually fishing in Mississippi in a little lake behind my parents' house. And Coach Mary's like, hey, so what are you going to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm coming back. I hadn't even told my parents yet. I was like, I'm coming back. And he's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm actually fishing. He's like, by yourself? I was like, yeah. He's like, you're just going to come back. I said, yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to win. Let's go. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, and so, Anthony, like playing pro ball and everything, some guys would always give other guys a hard time for where they went to college, or if you had on a LSU something, anything, they would always kind of rag on you pretty good. And, especially me, because I always wore LSU on my sleeve. And I was like, I would always tell them, like, if something changed your life as much as LSU changed mine, for maturity's sake, obviously for baseball, like I would not have been able to play near as long in pro ball if LSU kind of wouldn't have propped that up and got me on the straighter and narrower, not the straight and narrow, but, those speed bumps I had my freshman and sophomore year, all that junk. If it wasn't for LSU and Coach Mary and that sort of thing, I wouldn't be where I was. So if something meant as much to you as LSU does to me, then you would be wearing it on your sleeve too. So, to your point,
yes.
Anthony.
I think that's so cool to hear, because you're not the only one that says, Anthony earlier in the show was talking about what this program does for you, not just as a ball player, but as a man, and the lessons you learn and how you mature. And to hear that from not just you, Anthony, no offense, but to hear it from him, and I've heard it from multiple former players of what this program has done and what it means to each of you is really incredible to hear, truly.
Yeah. Lewis, talk
No, absolutely.
And then to the baseball, side of it, like, we're talking about Cade Anderson potentially being number 1 overall, right? You and moving quickly, and these guys are moving to the big leagues way quicker than they did when we were playing. But you were one of those first anomalies where you moved up relatively quick. So, and for our time, very fast, So talk to me about like that decision to come back to LSU and how that affected that for you.
Well, I think so. I remember like even just growing up in small town Mississippi, like even playing Division I baseball seemed so foreign, so out of this world, even though I was being told that I had a chance or, this and that. Well, playing pro ball, even being at LSU and doing well there those last couple of years, it was like, yeah, but anything could happen any day and I might not be able to play pro ball. So, like, let's just go all in. We're here. And my approach was simply that. Like, I'm gonna pitch and I want to win. And then if I get drafted, I get drafted. Like, not to make it like super humble, but it's just like I'm here. I'm in the present. Let's do this. But then also, I think coming back from my senior year, I was also a year older for my class, like for my class.
Right,
so
you're older. Yeah, you're great.
Yeah, and so once the Royals got me, it was kind of a let's see what he's got, and we can either get rid of this guy or move him up.
Yeah,
like we're just going to push him to his limits, and if he does well, that's great for us. If not, we haven't really lost much because they didn't invest a ton. So like it's like we had a 5th round pick, but other than that, let's just push him. And I thankfully did well and didn't get hurt. So that I think that's why I got to move so fast was.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The age, but then playing at LSU. Now, AA, I think probably would have beat our LSU team, but I remember being in like high A and being like, God, we were so much better than these guys. But that's how I got to start. Getting to start your first full season in AA is because you kind of built that foundation at LSU, and so these guys. They're going to have that opportunity. They're getting drafted high. I know they're a little bit younger than we would have been getting drafted or I was. But still, the amount of success they're having right now, it translates a little different than it used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually want to talk about, you mentioned staying present. And this time of year, going into Omaha, knowing the draft is coming up, some of these guys may struggle with that, staying present. Especially with big moments ahead. How were you able to do that?
Well, when we were playing, the draft had already happened, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And so, which I feel like it made it even worse because now you're like, I got drafted in the 5th round. I wonder what they're going to give me. Am I going to get? I know I'm a senior, but
interesting. Yeah.
Are they going to open up the checkbook and like pay me like I'm a junior, or are they going to be like, dude, here's $100, take it or leave it.
Wow,
And so it's like, well, now I don't want to I need to do something to add to my value. What do I need to do? I need to strike out everybody, So those are the battles that I remember.
Wow.
Going in my head, and it's like, well, don't even think like that. Like, dude, you're here for, we've done what we've done. We're here for a reason. You can't change it. Like, just do you. They drafted you based on your past, not what they expect you to do at the College World Series.
Right.
Or even in the Super Regionals. And so I think the old cliche of control what you can control is like the simplest but yet hardest thing to do. And for those guys, it's like whatever your prep has been going into a game, you've got to keep it the same. And they've already made their mind up. Every team has already made their mind up of what they think about all the LSU players right now. Sure, it might add a little bit of a wow factor if he throws a perfect game in the World Series, but it's not going to change number 1 versus 7th overall. It just depends on the team's needs, in my opinion.
No, I agree. That's what we were talking about. And I was like, it's funny that you say that, though, with that perspective, because I was saying, like, I think maybe some guys might enjoy it better that it's like they have a chance to go showcase at the World Series. But to your point, like I didn't even think that like, guys would be looking to go earn money still even after being drafted. That's awesome. So like, I love that perspective. Yeah. We were talking about Jared Jones. I was like, if he hits 3 homers and wins, College World Series MVP, like that could, help your draft stock, go from like a 3rd rounder to maybe like a late 1st rounder, or something like that.
Absolutely. And to him specifically, like we know that he had been grinding for the last, going through the regional, 20 something at bats. And then you saw in the super, like he started hitting the ball. He was hitting line drives, hitting balls hard, not striking out at the rate that he was. Yeah. So like now that's where the added pressure could come in on someone like that, is he's like, hey, all right, I'm getting my swing back. I need to prove that I'm who I was, 40 swings ago. Same guy that was hitting 3, but it's like, but you're still hitting 330 and you went through a 20 at bat slump.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Like that should be his comfort of like, I know I'm good. Like
perspective.
Everybody goes through a funk. I just picked a really bad time to go through a funk.
That's literally what I was telling everybody that. I was like, dude, this is just a bad timing of a slump. It shouldn't change his draft status. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, from my perspective, getting to watch on a TV on the couch, it's like it looked like he started to come out of it already in the super. He hit a homer. He hit a couple balls hard, which we did not see in those 22 or whatever it was at bats where he was struggling. So I'm hoping that we're going to see an entirely different Jared Jones coming out of that. I think that should give him a lot of confidence moving out of that. Now, deep breath. We made it to Omaha. The pressure's off.
Exactly. Just go be you and just mash some baseballs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And see if you can hit one over the scoreboard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, so what's your predictions? We're going to let you get out of here in a couple minutes. What do you think? LSU, Arkansas, who's taking it down? Overall World Series champ. What do you think?
Well, we are biased. But
of course.
So the event I'm going to, one of the hosts, the wife of the host, she is a diehard Arkansas Razorback. One of my neighbors back in Kentucky, she is a diehard Arkansas Razorback. So I'm about sick and tired of hearing about them. But that being said, I really genuinely believe whoever wins game 1 between us and Arkansas is going to win the whole thing.
Yep.
So, I think they're the 2 hottest teams. They're playing really well. I'm surrounded by Louisville people in Kentucky. So naturally I'll watch a little bit more of their stuff, and I love Dan McDonald, but I just don't think their depth is what it is. Now, let's hope this doesn't happen, but I have thoroughly enjoyed watching Murray State. The passion. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the post game.
Yes.
Their coach. And
it was awesome.
But he straight up, this could have been his moment, all about him. He's like, he tells those announcers, he's like, hey, guys, I would love to talk to you, but I got to go. And then the camera stays on him. It gives me chills thinking about it. But he's like, this is our moment. This is my kid's moment.
Yep.
Like on the team. And I'm not taking away from that. And then they do their they even waited to pour the water on it.
Yeah. I thought it was the coolest thing, Lewis. I'm so happy you pointed that out. I thought it was the coolest things that he paused probably the biggest interview that he ever has in his life on ESPN to go to Omaha. And he said, I gotta go with my boys. I literally brings chills. Yep. I thought the same thing.
So I think the majority of the country will be watching Murray State.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that Omaha is way better than the Tigers there. So
love it.
If they can get through game 1, I think we got a good chance.
That is a fact.
I agree.
I like it.
I agree. All right, real quick. One more before I let you go. Quick.
Yeah.
Best memory in Omaha.
Oh,
Sorry. I know. I didn't know if you were gonna.
I was waiting.
I didn't know if you were gonna.
I was giving you your chance to
I know.
speak.
Sorry.
And I was waiting, and I was gonna say, I asked Anthony earlier. I have to ask you.
Nope.
So erase Anthony's question. It's my question. What is your favorite memory from Omaha?
Well, can I give you 2?
Yes. We each get one.
Well, it might be like 2.5.
Okay.
I remember you have to go back to 2008, but we had made an incredible run, and we're trying to just come from we were on fire, but we kind of snuck in there.
Yeah.
Only, but we weren't playing so well at the beginning of the year, but then we were doing so well. And I remember, like with that Grand Slam and everything that happened, it ended up being one of my favorite moments because I don't know if I would have, like if I close that out and we end up making a run and maybe we just lose some other way, that it crushed me because I felt like I owed LSU even more than they had already, than I thought I owed them.
Wow.
And it's a different type of favorite moment just because it just made my next year mean so much.
Wow.
Just everything was so more, just the relationship with teammates and stuff. But then, so the next year, 2009, we have to play Arkansas. I see Van Horn walking through the crowd, and it was like one of our off days. And I remember him walking by, and we make eye contact from a ways away. I'm with my family, and he just stops and looks at me because we were playing him the next day. And he said, "You tomorrow?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he just shook his head and walked off. So hopefully this will be a start to the Saturday.
Wow.
And maybe he'll just speak back to the 2009 Tigers and just crumble. And
Lewis, I've known you for 15 years, brother, and you've never shared those stories with me.
Awesome.
That is really cool, man. Yeah.
It's only because Abby asked the question.
Yeah, let's go.
This is sports reporter in there, whatever. All right.
That was awesome.
Well, everybody knows that everybody's favorite part is being on the bottom of the dog pile. It's on the last pitch.
Of course.
And so that's not what you wanted to hear.
Right.
So,
Yeah. But that's exactly right. Yes. That you just gave us the insight and gave the people the insight exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody can see the pictures and the videos of you throwing the glove in the air and Gibby tackling you. But yeah, that was awesome, man. You're the man, dude. And I can't speak volumes enough to one, how you inspired me and shaped my career. And it was a pleasure to work with you and build that and win that championship with you, dude. And hopefully this team follows in our footsteps as well, and we can continue the legacy, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me on it. I don't get to do this as much as I used to, but I really enjoyed it. And thanks for the questions and getting to bring up some incredible memories from the past. So I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Go to the charity, say hello to everybody, make sure that they know that the Tigers are going to win.
I'm a good Go Tigers for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be watching. I'll be standing in front of it, making sure there's no woo pig sueys going on. So don't worry about it. Yep.
All right, guys, stay tuned.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that is on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. Safety, probably a big deal if you're in the market for a vehicle. If you go shop at Genesis of Baton Rouge, you will know that you're getting behind the wheel of one of the safest cars on the road because every single model on the line, every single model was a IIHA top safety pick. Some of them were top safety picks plus. So from the entry level to the highest end, you're talking about a car that is among the safest on the road. It's a big, big deal. So you start there, then you go check out the style, the comfort, all those bells and whistles that come with a luxury brand of vehicle. That's all there for you at Genesis of Baton Rouge. And if you make a purchase, every single purchase comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Every single purchase comes with a 3 years of complimentary valet maintenance. It's all there at Genesis of Baton Rouge. I invite you to go by and see them, airline at Pico across from Women's Hospital, or start your process today online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
All right, we're back just for a few seconds before we sign off for today.
Thank you guys for being here.
Show was fun today.
It was
Abby
awesome.
Alonso, Anthony Renato. That call with Lewis Coleman went a little bit longer than we thought, but definitely worth it.
That was awesome. That was amazing. Thank you guys for being here. Abby, you did a great job today. Thank you for being my co-host.
That was fun.
Maybe the main host. I don't know.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, go Tigers. Everybody tune in. Saturday night. Enjoy. Thank you guys.
Peace.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.